Hello and welcome to the next video of my World's 2023 series. Obviously we have a day here to make something, that doesn't include previewing games. That video will be tomorrow. We're going to rank the mid-jungle duos and the bot lanes of the 16 teams left. I know that I individually ranked each role after my ranking video. Well, not ranking. My role preview videos. However, I think that when you combine a duo, things change. How they synergize matters. And so we're going to go over that here. If you skip to the end, which means you skip now, for those that are listening, if I notice somebody skip to the end, you'll be able to tell in the comment section. If you'd like to do your own rankings, I am going to add a couple threads to the Discord after I upload this, and that is where you can post them. Please do not post them in the comments. As much as I love to boost the algorithm, I just think it's better served to put that all in one place. I'm not reading all that in the comment section. So there's that. Let's do this. Mid jungle, who is last? Who is last? That is the thing. Is it JDG? I don't believe so. I really don't. I think it's between two teams pretty easily. So we're going to go with NRG 16th and BDS 15th. I think that it could be either or. BDS fans will be like, oh, but you just saw them beat Golden Guardians. You didn't think they'd beat Golden Guardians. You didn't think they'd beat PSG. No, you're right. But I thought they'd beat Team Wales, and they couldn't do that. So GAM gets to be above them because of that. And, I mean, I thought Adam was the difference maker for BDS, not Sheo and Nuke. Sheo has looked better than expected, though. So we have those two out of here. I should have left myself more room, but alas, here we are. Next, we're going to go with TL. So Pyosik, obviously defending world champion, only one of, oh, I bumped into the microphone here. Only one of two left in this, shoot, that light's in my face too. One of two players from that squad that are defending their title. But APA, obviously, a lot to be desired there. We don't know really how he's going to do at this event. Very inexperienced. He could completely tank, and I'd be fine with that. A lot of people would try and write him off, say, oh, NA talent, this or that. But, same take. He's a rookie. He may just absolutely shit the bed. Now, next, probably GAM. These next three, I would say, are tough. I think GAM, I think Levi is better than, Elyoya and Blabber, to kind of tell you how I'm determining 11th and 12th here. But Katie is just so much worse than Eminez and Niski. So that's kind of that deal. And then we're going to go Mad C9 11th. I think that personally, Elyoya is just as good as Blabber, but he has not played that way at all this year. He's actually played like trash. And that's unfortunate because I have a high expectations for Elyoya. I think he's one of the better Western junglers. And in my opinion, there were moments in the past couple years where I'd say right along inspired as the best. But this past year really brought him down. Niski, leaving a lot to be desired. Eminez is coin flip. He could be better than Niski. He could be worse than Niski. So there's that. And Blabber obviously performed exceptional in the LCS. So he gets to be 11th. Then this is where things are going to get kind of hairy for people. This is where people start getting upset. I'm going shoot. See, the tough, you're combining two players here. And frankly, I think combining these two players are better than the other two teams I'm really thinking about in the next three. But at the same time, I think back to last Worlds, and because of that, I struggle to put them that low. And we'll talk about that tomorrow in the sneak peek. You're going to find out which team I'm talking about just based off of talking about last Worlds and where we are in this. That a lot of people underrate how good that duo was at Worlds last year. And actually, I was arguing with somebody in the comments about it in one of the videos. Just how good, one half of that duo is. So, with that in mind, I'm going to go with Weibo 10th. Fnatic 9th. And KT 8th. So, that was tough for me because I do like what Razork and Humanoid bring. The vibe of carry-oriented mid-jungle, because topside is getting so little amount of resources, very JDG-like. And honestly, G2-like as well. It comes to a situation where I'm now thinking, okay, so Weibo, in my opinion, is the opposite of Fnatic when it comes to resource, allotment. Way very low, I believe, on that, or at least low in damage share, not carry-oriented. Xiaohu, obviously not a carry, but the Shy is, right? And Fnatic, it's the opposite. Oscarinin is on the weak side, and then you have Razork leading this tournament in DPM domestically going into it. And then you have Humanoid, who's also very high in DPM, very greedy in lane. I prefer greedy players, if that wasn't evident. And then you think about KT, and you say to yourself, BDD is very facilitator-oriented, and I had Cuz and Weiwei around each other rank in this, but I thought Cuz and BDD kind of synergized better than Weiwei and Xiaohu. And so, maybe there is probably a reason for that. It's just, it's kind of, it is what it is. I think you could rank those three teams any which way. I feel like people would probably have a problem with Fnatic being above Weibo, but, there are a lot of people that really like Weiwei. I want to see more out of Weiwei than just one split, to really start saying, oh, he is the best jungler in this. Like, going after this tournament, I don't think that, unless he becomes a carry, he's not going to be the best jungler at this tournament. There's no way. But that's just my 2 cents on the matter. Now I'm working backwards. We're probably going to go T1 7th. I love Faker, but owner's left a lot to be desired. Not very carry-oriented lately. Faker very limited as a facilitator. I think very, very reminiscent of KT. So that's kind of the deal there with T1. And next we'll go G2. And BLG. And this, this is where people are like, oh, but performance this past year. So, because D+, obviously, I have above them, and that's going to make people be like, but Canyon and Showmaker looked so bad this past year. And I'll discuss that in a second. So, G2, obviously, very, very talented players in the LEC. It's going to be just hard to rank them higher than that without seeing more games against top-tier talent. Yike did exceptional at his first MSI, in my opinion. As a rookie, he stood his ground. And that is all you can really ask for if you are on this earth, in my opinion, when it comes to thoughts. Now, when you have BLG, that's a synergy deal. So I obviously have Yagao a lot lower than most in my mid rankings, and I have Shun a lot lower than a lot of people. But as a duo, they are a good mix because Shun is carry-oriented and Yagao is best as a facilitator. So them combined work. More so than T1 and KT, in my opinion, in the same vein. Because I see Faker, BDD, and hell, even Yagao. Obviously, Yagao, we're talking about BLG, but we have Faker, BDD, and Xiaohu as facilitators, and then you have junglers alongside them. Weiwei, very facilitator-oriented, so that's a pure facilitator duo, in my opinion. They're creating. Whereas with KT, Cuz offers a little bit more. Actually, Cuz had really good 14, 15-minute splits when you really looked into it. T1, I mean, owner mechanically is very good. His lease in is excellent, but when you take him off of that, things get a little scary. But Faker is playing for 4 wards, so there is that. But BLG, it's just like Shun and Yagao, perfect mix there together, which, if played right, allows them to go very far. It's just a matter of, you know, it being predictable, right? There's no surprises with how BLG are best formed. And it is Yagao being more of that weak side player, if you will. Obviously in mid, it's hard to be weak side, but that's kind of the best way they can be formed. After that, we're going to go D+ 4th, because still I'm going to have Canyon and Showmaker that high. As a duo, they are exceptional. Now you get into where the support is going in and out, hurting depth a little bit. You know, going between 2 supports is not a good look. Kana and top lane, not super great. So Canyon, Showmaker is what makes that team go. Canyon is still one of, if not the best junglers in the world. Showmaker is just fine. So that's where they are. They are 4th. After that, I have Gen G 3rd. Peanut, honestly, I thought Peanut looked really good this past split, and Chovy showed excellent promise as well. Not promise. I mean, hell, he is who he is. There's no, I mean, there is probably potential there still, but he showed his complete package this past year when it came to being a facilitator at times, allowing Pays to carry, allowed Doran to carry. Peanut showing the ability to go to top side as well, go to mid. So with that in mind, Gen G 3rd. JDG 2nd, LNG 1st. And this is where people might get, you know, that's where the surprise is for people. Now, why did I do that? So, I have Kanavi and Knight ranked higher than Tarzan and Scout. But like I said in the beginning, and people might wait till this point to look at it and then comment and not listen to why things are the way they are. And I'm talking to you if you did skip, and don't comment if you skipped. So, LNG and JDG, in my opinion, watching those series, seeing the stats afterwards as well, I believe LNG, the reason why they were so competitive against JDG was because of Tarzan. I thought Tarzan neutralized Kanavi, made things happen, and that was a big deal. Like JDG, in the end, everything goes through Kanavi. You take Kanavi out of it, if you can compete with Kanavi, JDG kind of struggle. Now, obviously, JDG did beat LNG both times. A lot to do with the bot side of the rift. Bot lane is what it is. We know Ruler missing, no surprise, are going to be higher than Gala and Hung over here. So, in my opinion, when I look at that matchup, and I do think Kanavi and Knight individually are better, but Tarzan and Scout synergized better, got more done against JDG than JDG did against LNG. So, that's how I have that, which a lot of people probably are like, oh, that's outlandish. I don't think so. I think that they're just fine. Now, for bot duos, see, I wish I left myself more room so I could, like, mark it off as I went along. So we're just going to have to wing it here and mark as we go. So, looking at these Western bots, because there's no way I'm putting an Eastern bot down here. And yes, GAM is considered a Eastern bot, so I won't put them down here. Just kidding. They could be 16th. It's actually tough because Slater we've seen play, but we haven't seen Yeon play at this event yet. But Yeon probably, he might be worse than him. Energy's bot's fine. BDS is very similar. Okay, so we're going to go with TL's bot. No. I already said it. I'm going to go with TL's bot 16th. I really don't want to do that to Core. Core individually might be better than Slater, Pallet combined, and Crowny and Labrov combined, but the fact of the matter is, GAM, TL, like, Yeon is by far one of the worst players out of these 16 teams. They are going to be struggling. I think they should play Senna bot lane, and that's their best bet if you are TL. Now, after that, we'll go with BDS 15th, and this is where people are be like, oh, but look at how good Lebrov did. Look how good Crowney did. This and that. And it's like, yeah, Artemis and BA got the better of them, though. Wales got the better of BDS. And then GAM got the better of Wales. So that's how that works. So, and honestly, like, Crowney is very good. Lebrov is good, but I think Slater and Pallet just are getting better and better. And that's also a thing, like projecting out better and better. And maybe Crowney now, if you take away all those Ezreal games, which is half the games he played, oh, he looks better. But it's hard to ignore 6 Ezreal games. Like, I can ignore GAM's 2 games, but 6, that's a lot of games to think about removing. We'll go with GAM 14th. Slater and Pallet, I think if they can play aggressive and get after it, they can beat lesser teams. Energy, another example. Mad Lions if they flip tails. Cloud9 maybe even. But it's just a matter of doing that. 13th will be NRG. And the thing is with NRG's bot lane too that you have to keep in mind when it comes to BDS NRG comparisons is that NRG, like FBI and Ignar, have been here before. Ignar has actually done very well internationally. And people don't respect him because he's played in North America, he's played in EU. But the fact of the matter is he does have results where BDS doesn't. And you could say to yourself, yeah, but he hasn't gotten out of, he hasn't had deep runs. His FlyQuest run, he didn't get out of groups. It's like, yeah, went 3-3 in a group where it was DRX and Top Esports in 2020. As FlyQuest, I would take that, and Ignar was a big reason why. I think Ignar and FBI have done very well, been a very, very good part of NRG. Now, NRG as a whole, I don't think are very good. I showed that in my power rankings, but somehow they get it done, and FBI and Ignar are a reason why. So, they're 13th. Next is C9. So I gotta see more. I think I gotta see this tournament that they're gonna offer more than they did in summer. Not a lot of resources going their way when it comes to a lot of resources, but not a lot of damage coming out of that bot lane. Not a lot of carry potential coming out of that bot lane. Like Berserker, I expect to do more, and it's just not happening. Sven, like he's a 80 carry turn to support, and shows some flashes, and then other times it's like, okay, you're a little, you're inting a bit here. So, C9 12th. When they succeed, it's usually Blabber that gets the job done. Hence why C9 are 11th, they're 12th here. I'm going to go Fnatic 11th. Trimby is an excellent support. That's no surprise to anybody. But Noah, very much like Berserker. And it's not because they're both Korean, but it's just a trend I see with Korean imports in regions where it's Roots, another example, Loken. You could go down the list where you have 80 carries that just like they don't dominate laning phase like they should, but then in the late game they just win team fights with their hands. Now in the end, everybody wins team fights with their hands because everyone's using their hands on the keyboard. So he wins in the late game, just like Berserker, just like Root did. But in an event like this, where you're against better teams, that just doesn't hold as much. Next, we're going to go with Mad Lions. I think Mad Lions, Hilly obviously is an inter. So very similar to how I had, who did I have in this one that was an inter? And it was coin flip, how they would do. Oh, C9. Similar to how I view C9. Blabber, excellent, best jungler in the LCS. Then Eminez, who's a coin flipper, could be good, could be bad. Mad Lions, Carzy, in my opinion, was the best AD carry this past split. It's just going to, you know, ruffle some feathers, but in my opinion, he was the best one. And then Hilly is an Inter. So, with that in mind, Matt our 10th. After that, we have some very good bot lanes here. I have to put D plus 9th, and the only reason I'm going to do that, now Deft, if it was Deft and Kellen, and I knew it was going to stay that way, and that Bible wasn't going to play at all, if I even thought that that wasn't going to happen, I'd have D plus above G2, but I think that it could happen. So, and that's not to say Bible is worse than Mickey. But the fact of the matter is that sort of, we're talking about synergies here, and if your synergy is broken like that, sorry, they're below G2 because of that. Because, like, Mickey is the best Western player probably here. I think you can make a case for Yike. If you make a case for, I think that's kind of where it ends. So, like Hans can play a lot of weird shit down there, and it's actually working well for him. We'll see if he can show up as a carry because he has to play better bot laners. But as far as I'm concerned, 8th for G2. Now, ranking these 7 Eastern bot lanes. Okay. T1 7th. Which, I'm sorry, I like Gen G KT more. I like Weibo's. Carry, I think, is the best player in the world, mechanically. It's just, push comes to shove, I have them 7th. Guma, obviously, is world-class. Carry is world-class. It doesn't mean, these are all close. I think you could rank the top 7 in any order. Essentially, I think that, like, definitely some teams can't be 7th, and definitely some teams can't be 1st. But there is a middle ground there where I could see people ranking T1 as high as 2nd or 3rd. And I could see people ranking who I will probably have 1st down at 4th or 5th. I think that it's feasible. So, T1 7th. We'll probably go LNG 6th. That's because of Hung, not because of Gala. People actually get really upset because I don't have Gala higher ranked than I do. I think I got people in the Discord that don't like I have Gala below Elk. But Hung is good. He's played a lot better than I thought he would, but at the same time, I think Gala's who's carrying that half. And if he's on Kesa, I mean, it's over. It's over for everybody if that ends up being the case. As a duo, I'm taking we got KT, Jen, Weibo, BLG, JDG. This is tough here. BLG 5th. And that, similar to LNG, has to do with On. We're going to blame it on On. A lot of people really like On. I want to see more out of him. So BLG are 5th for that reason. And also because, in my opinion, Weibo's bot lane was the best one individually in the duo category this past summer. Does that mean they're going to be ranked higher than JDG? Spoiler alert, probably not. But at the same time, this past few months, that's been the case. At least I believe Light and Crisp have been, if there was a co-MVP conversation, they'd probably deserve it for carrying Weibo as far as they have. We'll go KT 4th. And you're going to find tomorrow in the sneak peek that this is very weird. Really, it's actually very weird. Looking at the stats, comparing Aiming and Elk, they've played 9 times, and one side has definitely gotten the better of the other when it comes to win-loss. Now, obviously, I didn't look at KDAs outside of the last time they played, which is a couple years ago. But at the same time, Elk and Aiming do have a history against each other, but Lehens is better than On. So that's, without a doubt, going to be how it is for that. We're going to go Weibo third, Jen second, JDG first. So, Light and Crisp, like I said, best bot lane this past summer in the LPL. I thought Light played excellent. I thought Crisp was MVP worthy. Now, as somebody that played support when I played solo queue, not, whatever. I like watching supports. And Mako was my spring MVP, and Crisp was my summer. That's no shock. Mickey was my LEC MVP. I think supports do a lot more than people give them credit for. Now, is that at Gen G's level? I think Pays is just so good. And at such a young age, like that bot lane is only going to get better and better and better. And if you watch my prediction video for this entire tournament, you would know how I really do feel about Gen G. As far as JDG, Ruler Missing is the best. Are the best. And until they are beaten, they are going to be the best. So, yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And hope to see you again tomorrow.